Sure. Hello, everyone that is watching this. We're gonna record this meeting and we're also gonna go live on Facebook. So that's what I'm gonna do now. So hold on for 1 minute while I solve this. Share onto your group. Guardians of Earth. And
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Preparing to go live. Yay! This meeting is being live streamed. Welcome everyone to this live today. Here I'm Sana. You know me. I have the group, and here is my dear friend Peter Santos, or Sanjay as I call him. So maybe you want to say something about yourself. Who are you?
Me is going straight to me, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, guys. Hi, Sana. Thanks for the introduction. Quickly, I'm just. My first name is Peter. Middle name Sanj. Call me what you want. But yeah, I've just been in well-being and different factors of health, sustainability, and ecological projects in business for a while. And there's a lot of people asking questions about how we can improve our health, how we can do this. So I've been obviously working with Sana for quite a while, and water is a key driver of that. So today we're going to have a chat about water, its importance, its history, things like that.
Yeah, so, nice.
Hello.
and we have, you know me, I've been doing like environmental stuff. I'm working with water technology from Japan, as you probably know of already. But me and Sanjay, we have a small company called Waters Alive. So we're doing this from the company Water for Health podcast, as we're gonna call it. So introduction.
Yeah, so Sana, I think with these things, I always like to start trying to paint the picture. And today I'd rather just go over a quick overview for everyone, just to say, look, what the podcast's about, who's the podcast for, and who we are in a bit more brief and a bit more details, but without going too deep. And I normally when I do these type of things, I normally just go into the history behind water, as you see on the slides, functions, water functions, a bit of science behind it, and solutions for everyone to maybe whatever stage they're at, to maybe embrace in their life if they want to make a change. And really, I normally say to people who the podcast is for. If you really, without wasting anyone's time, I'm quite straight. The podcast is for anyone who's wanting to take their health, improve their health in any way, and whether you could be just starting out in a health journey, you could be just doing whatever you're doing and then going, actually, I want to improve my health, which most people want to do. You can have a problem with your health currently just now. You might actually be in a position where you think you're quite healthy, and you want to just take it to another level. You might be taking supplements, etc. You might be physically quite fit, or you might be just in someone who's going, actually, I want to push my health to really new boundaries and discover what actually health means, not as a language where we go, I'm not feeling any issues, so I must be healthy. This is more for people who are really going, actually, I want to make a change and really feel the power of what a human body is, especially when it's healthy. I always say to people, it's actually pleasurable to be healthy. You actually feel, I feel good in my body, that way when you wake up. One day, sometimes you wake up and you go, I just feel so good today. You just feel really good. And that way, when you push your health to new boundaries, it's really exciting for a human when they feel, I didn't realize I feel that health-wise. So normally I would say these podcasts are for those type of people who really want to make a change. If you just want to get some information and a couple of suggestions, there's free suggestions at the end and stuff as well. But we'll go through solutions for what we're talking about with water and how to use water to benefit the health or benefit life, even the society around you, what we can do about it, and how to make small changes today, which lead to big things tomorrow.
Yes, nice. Good introduction there, and I can really relate to what you were saying about feeling amazing, because I've been suffering from like chronic illness for half of my life, and I have really felt that difference, like how it is to live with a chronic severe condition, and then suddenly in life starts to feel amazing, and I can wake up and feel good and feel happy and feel like life feel pleasurable, as you said. So I really want to show people that as well with this, what water actually can do.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I think as well, I mean, I always say to people, remember, this is just a journey for everyone. Don't worry about where everyone is. Wherever you're at, don't worry. Whether it's a drastic state of health or thingy, obviously stress and stuff adds to the pile when you're unhealthy. So we're trying to we want to make this friendly today. We're people, we're everyday people. As Sana said, she's had health issues. I've had health issues in my life. I'm 44 now. I've been in well-being for 20 years, but I didn't really take serious note to it, probably, if I'm honest. As a lot of people go, well, I need to make this big, huge plan and change everything, make resolutions. And I'm just to start the simple things. So the reason one of the things we're talking about water today and why I think water is so important is it's a foundational step towards that health. So I always say to people, listen, doesn't matter where you are. We've been in the same situation. We've been in positions where we're going, okay, we might have taken health for granted, or think we're invincible. Everyone's got the invincible. I always laugh because people always have this invincible frame of mind. Okay, we'll do it tomorrow, and eventually time just starts running out and you start getting health problems, and sometimes you've damaged your body so much it takes a huge amount of time to repair again. So I always say to people, it's all about balance, really. It's all about balance. But if you put key things into your life, as you're living, if you put key things in a way, you can keep yourself at a reasonable level of health and not have any big issues throughout your whole life. Whereas compared to if you're going backwards a wee bit, more and more things will crop up as time goes by. So why I'm saying that is, me personally, on the podcast today, is just saying, look, I've done it all. I'm not this guy who's just been born and gone, I'm super healthy straight from day one. I've gone through life and you make choices and you go, why did I do that? Why did I do that? And to stop that coming up on you, you have to make a change at some point. Whether it's a health issue on your doorstep right now, or whether you're going, actually, I want to just be healthy. All these things come into the equation. Just make the choice at some point, and water's a great way to start.
Definitely. So, significance of water.
Yeah, significance of water. So I'm changing the slide as well behind me, so that's why I keep looking away, guys. The significance of water. Sarah, I don't know if you want to start, but I normally would go here. It's just like, I normally say to people, in reality, if we take away logic, if we look at things logically, it can actually mess with us a wee bit because we're relying on science and stuff too rigidly. But I always just go into a timeline and go, okay, throughout time, it doesn't actually matter. Throughout time, if you look through cultural or religious or previous timelines, we can sort of understand people used to pilgrimage, to go and get water. There was no scientific knowledge in the past. It's like when people say there's the pyramids, how did we build the pyramids? There's evidence there that something was important to us, so they've done something where we're going, how the hell did they do that? In the same way, we can apply that sort of lack of logic, going and go, well, how did people, without science, we didn't know H2O, we didn't know all this stuff. We're just people in a forest. We're going, well, how do we get water? And we've always managed through timelines, whether it's a cultural thing, a religious thing previously before science, we've always managed to find these bodies of water or travel to these water, or we know where good water is without any devices, without any electronics. So throughout time, if you look at humanity and the evolution of humanity, we've always been just really aware of water and the importance of it. And that's why, I don't want to go into specific religions or anything, but, I think in Christianity, they've got the wee bowl of water there and stuff. And it's like sacred holy water and stuff like that. There's all these things with like little water, like hints to say, well, no, this is really important. And I think that's where I wanted to start the presence, the significance, whether we've got science or not. We know that it's important. People have travelled and walk on pilgrimage to go to these bodies of water on the planet. They walk for a long distance, even in tribal communities and stuff. You know, they go and find this body of water which is really clean or appropriate for whatever reason, and they travel far for it. Obviously nowadays with our current situation, we've got cars and stuff, and it's a bit different. We can get convenience applied to it. We can get it from shops and stuff very quickly, running tap water. But what I'm trying to say is, if you think about it without applying like that, how did human beings realize this? Why did we put so much importance in water? And what's happened now with science, even though science is saying the same thing. I mean, if you go into NASA, I mean, I don't know what the full statement is going, well, the first thing they look for on a planet, if they're looking for life, well, the first thing they look for is water. Going, if there's water there, there's probably going to be life. And that's huge, that even that statement from NASA, that's saying it's something important. It's the first thing where life is produced. So, I mean, I don't know what you have to say about what I've just said, but I just want to bring people's headspace into, okay, just how important this thing water is.
Yeah, definitely. And people do that today as well. Like I have a lot of people on my Facebook and friends that are going like into the woods here in Sweden and they're going on their like bicycles with big jugs, and you know, it's water is really heavy, but still they make the choice to not just, you know, we all have a tap at home. We can have water from the tap, but still people choose to go out in the woods, carry this big huge jugs of water from and collect it from a spring in the woods. And when you say that to people like, oh, this is spring water, and people like, people like naturally intuitively know that, wow, that's good stuff. So
Good quality H2O. I'll refer to that later.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So and even like, I mean, even like the sourcing of the water, how people used to acquire it, pilgrimages and stuff like that, and even animals. You know, if you actually watch an animal, it even knows when it goes, I'm not going to drink that water. If you look at they even like movement of large animals, small animals, they know where the bodies of water is. You know, even this fights over, you get hippos, things like that. Hippos are, this is my water, because they know it's good water. It's like a wee water bit, and that's where they hang around. Elephants, they all know where good water sources is. So there's something to saying previously without science and human beings, we used to know this without science. And I think the first thing what I was trying to indicate there is going, well, okay, there's something important about it before scientific knowledge, and we used to get by somehow. So now bring it into the scientific days we've got just now. As I said, NASA, they look for water straight away. That says the importance. Now, if you look into current scientific evidence of what they're looking at, it's going to look at, when you look at the science, what the new evidence comes out with, and it's obviously improves with time as we get more time to discover new things as we move forward. When you look at water, and there's been testing done on this, obviously, it's like water actually, it responds to your surroundings. I think we said this, and it responds to your surroundings and inputs. So that can, basically, its molecular and cellular structure changes depending on where it is, the surroundings and the inputs which are going into it. So with scientific discovery, it says it's actually got intelligence and memory. Water has memory in the sense of, if you do something to it, it remembers and changes its structure because of what's happened or whatever its surroundings it is or are. And that's massive, because when you look at it, I mean, I always say to people, that people always joke to me and go, it's just water. And I'm like, no, it's not just water. In a way, with scientific evidence as backing, it's like I would talk about the future of water. It's going to go into nano water. It's going to go into, you're going to use water in computing, nano water for smart energy. You know, how we actually use a lot of things on the planet. Water is like a memory block in a way, which is intelligent in the first place because it changes and it remembers what happens to it. So in that dynamic, it's just going, well, it's like I don't want to say a material. It's in a way it's a material, but it's more of a participant in life. It's a thing that actually it's a life-making participant. It's not an ingredient. It's a material that produces life. It's a thing that makes life happens. And I mean, we go into Emoto and stuff like that. He's done some. Emoto is a Jap. I think you know a bit more about this than me, Sana. But Emoto is a Japanese guy. I think he was Japanese or Chinese, and he did testing of water, and he actually looked at it and going, "Well, humans when they stand next to it, if they think obviously positive." If they send a positive thought, if they're thinking positive, the water changes to a different structure. If they're thinking negative, it changes to a different cellular, like a cellular structure. So the surroundings and inputs are really important as well with water, because it remembers and responds intelligently to what you're actually thinking or doing as a human being. So this is vitally important. And when it's in nature, that's when it gets to when it's foundational, high quality structures. And the Emoto's testing actually goes into, I mean, I've put it on that slide there, it's any vibration, any sound, any reverberation, whether if it's small or large, it could be just something really small, thought, emotion, touch, all this thing changes the structure of water. And you can look at it under a microscope. So we've got this, this fantastic, now we don't, before it was religious, now we've got science. We've got this scientific evidence going, that's really weird. On the surface level, we can think it's just a clear liquid, but in reality, it's a super multi-dimensional form or participant, as I said. So I always say to people, just pay attention to that. Just remember, it's something where, as NASA says, look for water, it creates life. Water is a fundamental ingredient. And I think that's one of the things I want to bring to people's attention today.
Yes, good point. And also I think, like, when you say, okay, water has structure, like, okay, what does that mean? And if most people in here in this group are actually aware enough to probably have seen structure in other things, like a cactus, or like, you know, there's flower of life, there's golden ratio, there's a lot of different like spirally things, and that's structure. And water, even if it's liquid, it also has a structure. So that is very easy to change. And also the charge of things, like positive, negative charge, that is also easy to change. So it's these properties of water that determines if the water is potentially good or potentially bad for us.
100%, 100%.
Yes, going on to next slide. The planet is 70% water.
Yeah, so going from that foundation, what we were saying there before, Sana, was, okay, so this water, this stuff we call water, with all due respect, we seem to take for granted, because you can tell how we behave around water. One of the things what I want to just point out is just, once again, this is without judgment. This is more going down to, okay, let's look at the planet. It's a whole planet. We've got a huge planet here, and it's covered in water. Now, 70% of that is water. 70%. Enjoying that water. So approximately 70% of our planet is water. Now, if you look at it as in like the states of science sort of says, the stormy, solid, liquid, or gas, ice, liquid, water, or steam. But that's the sort of states that exist in our atmosphere just now. As we can sort of visibly see, you know, you can see ice, you can see liquid water, you can see steam, you can sort of understand that. But science has now sort of started going a bit deeper into water, obviously. And one of the things we can see is there's a fourth state of water. There's a fourth actual state, not the three atmospheric states. There's an actual fourth state, and science is calling it structured water. Structured water is more of a crystalline form of water. It's normally in places where it's done by implosion, but it's normally in places where waterfalls are and stuff. Certain parts of nature where it's structured, and when they look at it under a microscope and look at its inside and test it, this fourth state of water, the structured water, it's got some form of advanced properties. It seems like it's more intelligent in this state. So in nature, there's places. This is why probably these guys without any science pilgrimage, they basically go, this water is different here for some reason. And with the intelligent memory it holds, remember, because we can scientifically tell water holds memory. These places people have picked out and found, and yeah, they've got these advanced properties. Now the planet's 70% water, which is huge. You know, it's a huge amount of it. Now when we go into like things and like really look into science, and let's say we got like you get a vacuum and you put water into in a vacuum and then you add electricity, life starts getting produced from a bit of water in a vacuum, nothing else, add a bit of electricity or power, and life, the formation of life starts to happen. So why I'm bringing this into, I'm trying to, even we can discuss it in a second, but I'm trying to bring it to people's awareness is going, well, look, the planet is 70% water, but it's growing trees, it's growing animals, it's growing earth, it's growing soil, it's growing a lot of this stuff. But the foundation of that is the water. And so it's big, you know, water is, we'll go into the percentage of water into the human body in a minute, but as a planetary structure, NASA looking anyway, look for water. On our planet is 70%. It produces life when you add a little bit of electricity to it. So it's quite obvious to go then when you think about it, going, well, water is huge. It's like it's hugely important. It sustains pretty much all life on the planet in a way, in so many ways. So just bring your awareness back to that. I always say to people, whoa, if you actually stop and go, actually water on the planet, 70% is growing everything. It's growing everything. It's helping everything live. So that's how big it is. And I don't know what you want to say about that, if you've got anything to add to that, but it's a huge player in life.
It is huge. It is huge. And maybe for some it's hard to grasp, but I like to take it down a bit, like into a smaller perspective. Like, let's say the planet or us would be like a house plant. We all know, like, if the plant does not get enough water and sun and nutrition, it will die. And the water is the first thing that we see. You know, it becomes like very, you know, it can be the leaves dry out and such. But when it comes to the planet and us, it's not as easy to see. You know, our fingers does not get brown and starts to fall off if we're a bit dehydrated, but it's basically the same thing. So it's just so natural for us to understand the how we can compare ourselves to a plant or the planet. So it's very cool.
Yeah, 100%. So just I would say, just going back into that, is just going, remember, without any logic, people seem to figure out where this good water is. We've got science now to give us a fundamental backing, and it's saying it's a special magical liquid. Somehow we don't understand that it's intelligent, it's got memory. We've done testing on this. The whole planet's covered in water, and it's growing all this life. You add water into a vacuum with nothing else in it, and it starts producing life of some sort starts appearing. So it's just going into the spec going, well, it's hugely important to everything. I think we're going on to the slide now. We're talking about now water and human health. Do you want to kickstart that? Because
yeah, like that. So the planet 70% water, and humans are also 70% water. So we can see the similarities there. And like, it's almost, as you see here on the pictures, like almost all of us really. And it's a player in every function in the human body. So the body uses water to flush out things, to get things going, like oil in a car, and irrigation system. So if it doesn't have that, it becomes very stiff, and it can cause like things like inflammation and lots of other things that is due to dehydration.
100%. I think a lot of things, a lot of there's misconceptions nowadays, Anna. I think, without being rude or anything to a specific on how people do anything, it's just going, well, listen, this water, it's, as I said, it's in every action, in a way, in every, I can't scientifically say this, but in a way that everything that happens in your body, every function, even if you think, even if you speak, even if you feel emotion, it's a part of a play of that happening. It's a part of it. So it's just within a human body is so hugely important. So when it comes back to I mean, in scientific days nowadays, we have to drink this much water a day, which is what they're saying. You know, everything is saying this is important. But even when that happens, a lot of us are still maybe not actually thinking, well, a lot of human beings I know just now, when you actually really ask them, they go, how much water do you drink? They are, don't drink enough. For yeah, they know they don't, but they're going, well, how come? Like, what? It's one of the main core things where we should be doing. And then also the quality of water you're drinking is vitally important, because if I was saying, if if water is going to try and help cleanse your body, let's even look at, if you get a glass of water and you want to cleanse it, and you pour dirty water into a glass of dirty water, it ain't going to get cleansed. So as we move forward in our understanding of what water does within our body, scientifically or logically, it's just, I always say to people, just remember, if water's a thing that's going to flush all the rubbish out of your body, if you're going to eat rubbish or drink rubbish or whatever you put into your body, that's someone's individual choice. At least put clean water in to flush away everything. Because if you put polluted water in, or in any form or manner, it's just re-polluting your body with the stuff that's going to flush out. So it's sort of counterintuitive, counterproductive in a way. I don't know what the right word is here, but I've just
Yeah.
always seen people where the fact that we're drinking not enough water is going to dehydrate us. It's going to cause huge problems to your health, heart-wise, etc. The second thing is the type of water you put into your body, how it's been treated. As I said, it responds to what you're thinking and emotion. It's got memory intelligence. If you don't treat it in a way with importance, I always say put it into perspective. If you don't treat it with importance, then when you're drinking it and stuff, it could cause problems in your body again. So I think just now, with the convenience that we're trying to, I mean, if you look at science and sports and all this stuff, and guys out there, on like high level athletes and stuff, they're getting the best quality water. Real everyone. If you go into mechanics or even science or engineering of anything, or like even, I don't even have to go into the top level things. We can talk about vodka. I think I've put this in this slide there. Even vodka, we're spending time. Smirnoff are triple distilling, or whoever it is triple distilling the vodka to get it to the purest form before you drink it, because it's the best it can be in your body. You get the hit or whatever it's doing it for. It's pure. In petrol, you purify your petrol to put into a car. In any science, they're looking for efficiency. So if you want efficiency and health in your human body, we have to start thinking, well, we need really good quality water, because we're 70% water. So all this stuff we're talking about is just really to just make that trigger like, oh, good point. We are made of 70% water. And if I put dirty water in, or put contaminated water in my body, it's going to keep contaminating myself in a way. It's not going to help. So the better filtered quality water you get, the better quality water you can get into your body, whatever stage you're at, and we'll get into the solutions after, is going to be a benefit to your health, because it's such a big driver in your body for all the functions. So even your mental health, a lot of people don't agree with me when I say this, and they stop asking, questioning me. Maybe not agree with me is the right thingy, but I question and say, look, what will help your mental health? What will help your emotional health as well? Because anything in energy forms or stagnation in your physical body, even if it's a thought, it's still an electrical impulse of some sort. Water is an electrical conductor. If you're dehydrated, it's not going to work. And also, your heart, it's like, that's your engine in your body. You know, if it's pumping around pollutants or pumping around bad quality water, already you're off not a good starting point, you know. So if you're trying to really maximize in your health, and get really good physical, mental, and emotional benefits from what you're doing with you, but if you're on that journey, I always say, look, just the 70%, going back to common sense, what would you start working on first? 70% of your water, cleanse that out, and then you'll notice that small things, small problems, mood swings, stuff start slowly getting better, because you're cleansing your body out and giving that break when it needs. So pay attention, I always say to people.
Yes, exactly. And I want to add to that, because going back to the professional athletes that are really like thinking about they have high quality water. And I've seen this, they've done tests and all different things on these athletes to compare different kinds of water and how well they perform. But some might then say like, okay, but I'm not a professional athlete, I don't need that kind of performance. But really, if you think about it, What actually is the difference between being a professional athlete and being like a mom of three or something? Like the stress, the amount of pressure that you put on your body is actually the same. So even if we are not professional in sports, we are professional at our lives. So we really need to be in optimal health for that, to not like severely get into an oxidative state.
100%, 100%. And I think it comes back to this bit. Just going to always say to people, like, okay, put it into perspective. It keeps you alive, 70%. Okay, so if I'm gonna, I always laugh with people, and I do this as a playful thing, but I always say, look, if I could go, there's your life, and go, well, what are you gonna fix in your life, or what's the biggest? 70% of you is water, so 70% is a 30% bubble. I'm going, well, if you're going to fail on something, fail on the 30%, but fix the 70%, because if you fix the 70%, the 30% failing isn't going to work as much. It's not going to be as hard, because so if we're talking about health and as a general idea in human being, whether it be mental, emotional, or physical health, I'm always coming back to this bit going, well, what are you going to do if you're going to fix your health? If I say to people, and they go, well, what keeps you alive? It looks scientifically, we all know this fact, but we're still not mastered it as, and it's no one's fault. It's not I know I've never said to people, don't feel guilty or feel bad about it, but it's just going back into this bit going, well, what would you do? What's the next stage? How can you do something about it? So, let's go to the next slide, which is the problems of today in societies. And this is a great slide, and I love having chats. I want to embracing this chat with everyone, but with Sana specifically is, I just always try to bring back into people's awareness, going, okay, societies, how we just bring it back into a timeline form. And just remember that everything we go through as human beings and everything is normally about discovery. It's not everyone has the end solution at one point. It's normally a work in progress. Evolution is a work in progress. It's never, oh, we didn't have that before. Now the problems come up all the time, is what I'm saying, and as you get problems, you solve them, keep moving forward. So the same as human evolution, we get to a state in societies and stuff, we go, well, that's not really working, we need to change to make it better. Same with the health, we're going, well, we used to do that and that was fine, but we're going, well, we can improve on that, we can make it better, we can go forward and keep on growing and keep on striving for better. So one of the things I was saying is this thing is, as we go through our times, there's a lot of things where we have built in societies and in our world which were good for before, but we need to start to keep on improving them to take human health, to take individual health, to take planetary health to a new level. So just, I always say to people, don't forget, it's not really, well, why didn't we do that before? Why didn't we do it after? It's not an attack against anything. It's more just saying, look, this has happened, and now here's a solution. How do we move forward from that? And one of the things I want to talk about is cities, large populations, and what's happening there, because that's what I feel is one of the one of the big issues, because everyone wants clean water. No, I can't speak to anyone going, actually, I want to walk down the street miles away to have a shower, or I want water from my tap. I want the convenience of it because it's simplified, and with societies have changed, we're busier, more big cities and stuff, and we're more active in the sense of we've got things to get on with, but we're less active in traveling for water. So the convenience of water through your pipes at home and through running showers is great. I love having a shower and all that. But when you come to such large populations in cities and stuff, and lots of people living together, the problem that's going to happen is contamination, because nature can't deal with it so quickly. We've built big concrete blocks on top of everything, and now it's an amalgamation of people all flushing toxins, chemicals, and everything down the thingy. But it's in a big bubble of land, and that's just going to continue to get contaminated. So to bring new water sources into that naturally, as time has progressed, we've introduced things like chemicals like chlorine and fluoride and all these different chemicals in the water to try and take away the disease and the contamination that's happening, so we don't get ill as a population, which is great. But then the problem is we're now poisoning ourselves with this contaminated water again, and then what happens is we're putting everything down the sink, it's going into sewage, it's getting treated, it's coming back, putting it into our water. So it's sort of like this cyclical movement, which is not really an upward spiral. Is great for convenience, but I think it's time we actually like start paying attention to how we're managing this, because if we don't, it's just going to end up and to get worse and worse and worse. There's no way, as such a large population, the contamination we cause with such a large amount of people living in one big group, and in the big cities, you know, you get millions and millions of people in one big city, and we're just getting all the rubbish and waste and we're pouring it down a pipe in a way, and it goes in a pipe, we treat it, and then we put it back into the water system, which we're going to pull out to drink again and put it around the pipe. So eventually that's going to crack. You know, if you think logically and just think sensibly about it, going, well, that's eventually going to crack because the population is growing. The more we live in big groups, the more pollution is there. What we're going to do, add more chemicals in, which makes it more toxic for the body. Then we start drinking this water to stop getting diseased, which is great, but then we contaminate our body, making us weaker. And it goes around this sort of downward spiral. And I think now is the time to really start embracing that as human beings. It's like, well, what can we do to change or even chip in to help? Because we're aware of the problem. We can rely on governments, water companies, businesses, and expect them to make the change, but it's all a part of we have to take it as a holistic solution. We have to focus solution-wise and go, well, all of us are part of it, because we all want the running water, but that's got its negative points, you know, because of the population size. So how are we going to deal with it is the next thing. And I think when we get to the solutions after, we can give you ways to help that. But I think just bringing that into your awareness again, going, remember, I always laugh with people. I'm saying, if I don't want to swear on the thing, if you do a poo, you're going down the poo, it goes into this water thing, it goes into sewage thing. We treat it all these chemicals, filter it and drain it, and then we put all the rubbish back into the sea. And then it goes around, we somehow get water. Something's going to get contaminated. So just think, we're going downwards just now, and the only outcome is going to be worse. So I think when I look at this, I think there's going to be pain. There's going to be, when I say pain, people aren't going to be happy about it, but there needs to be ways to restructure cities, get better water supplies, but that's going to take a lot of time. You know, you can't just go tomorrow, let's change the whole structure of the city, let's change the whole structure of the piping situation for us to keep this convenience up. We're going to have to slowly change the way and work with nature and let nature deal with the stuff where emptying out back into the pollutants so that it can do its job. It can be the filter rather than us trying to create these solutions which are going downhill.
Yes. Yeah, I really agree with everything that you said there. And I think this is it was actually you that taught me this, or that showed me this perspective of thinking about our like municipal city water, because I think sometimes it's easy to get into more like a bit of victimhood mindset and be like, oh, they are putting in chemicals to hurt us or whatever. Like, some people are going into that perspective, but I think it's very healthy to think about it. Okay, we started 2,500 years ago to start to fill like so many people in the same place, and there, like, people were like peeing and pooing everywhere, and bacteria got into this water, and the water flow was manipulated, and all this issue started there. So it started in a very like innocent way, and then we created more chemicals, and everything is just going around like you said there. So I think it's very healthy to stay in that focus, like, okay, what are we going to do, like solution focused, like, okay, we have this problem, it's everyone's problem, how do we solve it?
Yeah, how do you solve? Well, then when we're going to the water today as well, we have to go, okay, so we get water from the running tap and through our showers. Now, without, as I said, they're adding chlorine and fluoride into it, which are chemicals which actually kill things in your body. They're not only killing the bacteria in the water, which they're trying to make it cleaner for, which is a great thing they're trying to do, but when you drink that stuff, it's also killing you. So then we've got bottled water as well now, which is come up to be a bit more of a consumerism fad, if you ask me. But it's like more people are buying bottled water, which is great to get spring water. I'm not denying that, but the problem with it is we're packing in plastic now. First of all, where they get the water is probably slowly getting polluted because we're growing in population, as we said there. The second thing is we're leaving water stored in bottles and plastic. So first of all, pipes, water to house. When it comes up to your house, remember that water is chemicalized. It's sitting in your pipes. It's being thrashed around in the pipes. Water responds to how you treat it, remember. It's stuck in these copper pipes, building up rust and heavy metals and different things in this pipe, and it's stuck there. Then you turn your tap on, you get a glass of water, and it comes out unstructured, if you want to class it that, full of chemicals and full of this thing which has been stuck in pipes for how many, I don't know how many, sorry, give me a second, my computer's just beeping, I don't know, beep at me. And it comes up in this, comes out of glass, and we're drinking this. That's one of the options we've got. The next option is bottled water. Now we're putting bottled water in plastic, and there's microplastics in the sea everywhere. We already know there's evidence of that. It leads on to things like women having plastic and newborn babies having plastic in them. Is that not enough to go, well, something's going wrong? Women's placentas have got microplastic in it. Fish have got microplastic. Everyone's got plastic in it. So in a way, we're heading towards an area where it's not going to be good for the a human body for its strength. It's going to weaken as humanity. We're going to weaken and weaken and weaken and weaken and weaken. And the more that happens, and the more disease comes in, more pandemics come in, more things are going to attack us, and we're going to just fall like flies eventually. And it might not be apparent in this generation, but I think our future generations of kids need to start. We need to help by doing things for them as well, because the more we leave to go in this route, they're the ones who are going to have the big problem to deal with. So, you know, this thing with the plastics, and even that's going into the soil, you know, going to the soil is really bad quality. It's growing fruit and veg, which is what we eat. It's just this whole circular thing where we're going in the downhill spiral. So I think with all that adding up, we're going to notice things like people are being dehydrated. Some people are drinking water, a lot of it, and they're still dehydrated because the water's so toxic or so polluted in the first place. It's not actually even having, it's like 60% of it's poisonous to the body anyway. So we're only drinking 40% goodness for our body. So it's just adding and adding and adding. And this is a route to destruction in the future. So we have to really start changing that around. And yeah, I just start thinking, I'm just looking at the slide and just seeing if I haven't covered it there yet. Things like dehydration, it's things like stress. I mean, people talk about stress, and I go, okay, if your body, first of all, if I was going to talk about something and going, okay, if I'm walking about life and I felt my body was really healthy and I can move around and it felt really healthy as a physical body, if I came up to you and asked you a question and I came and cut you with a knife, if I cut you with a knife, you'd go and said, are you having a good day today? And you're bleeding. You'd be like, no, I'm not having a good day. I'm bleeding, because you can feel the pain and you're not feeling good. And the same applies in your head and the same applies in your heart. If you're not good in your head and not good in your heart, and something's going on which is not inside you, which isn't feeling comfortable, and then a situation comes up to you, whether your job, your partner, your kids, anything, a situation comes into you, you're already approaching the outside, your life you have to live with stress in you. Your body's already stressed. So if something goes wrong, you're going to get more stressed. So now people are talking about, we're really stressed every day. I'm going, well, yeah, I understand. But if you want to deal with that with a far better capability, I'm not saying this is the full truth, but just think about it. If like anything you approach, if you're already stressed inside your body, if your body's trying to get toxins out like every day, going, I've got to get rid of these toxins, and if something annoys you, you're going to go, because you're already stressed inside. You might not feel it in the sense of going, I feel right relaxed just now, but your body is going through all this stuff continuously. So when something does happen, it doesn't feel good. And that's what I was saying about health before as well. What is health? And a lot of people going, well, I seem nice and relaxed just now, but your body, like, let's say I go and have to smoke a cigarette or go and have a drink. I feel fine. You know, I'm not stressed. I feel fine. A situation comes up, I'm a bit stressed now. But what my point is, your body's internally under stress. So if you don't really understand that or feel that in a way, naturally things are going to be stressful. But if you don't feel that in you, if you think that health is getting away from that feeling, it's incorrect. Your body should be feeling really good to be in it. So if I always say to people, when you're feeling that really good mood, you're like nothing can phase you, that's how your body should feel daily. You should be feeling, oh, I just feel really good in my body. I feel good to move. There's no pains, there's no aches. It's just everything feels good. If you've got backache and someone's trying to help you and say something, you could be, oh, I'm just already stressed. Like this is stressing me out because you're under the pain. So one of the things I'm saying is when we remove the stress we put in our bodies, naturally, mentally, emotionally, and physically, you feel great. And then when you go into life, you feel great. So it's a huge, significant difference what you can do to how life is to you and your future. So I'm always saying, don't forget that, guys, when you're trying to take care of yourself, just remember doing these little things can stop huge things which seem non-workable or seem a problem in your life, but you don't know how to handle it. It could be from the simple things you put into your body. Once you understand that, you can start working on having a better life, you know?
Yes, yes. I love that you took that, you talked about that, because I usually I say nowadays to people, like, after the journey and experience I have had the last years, I say to people, when it comes to like mental and emotional health, because some people will, the only solution they have is just talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, or take medications, and sometimes that might be necessary. But I usually say that, okay, if you want to solve your mental and emotional state, if it's very unbalanced for you, uh, then first start with your body and take care of your body, take care of your sleep, take care of your, like, the water, and then when you have done that, see what's left of your mental and emotional imbalance, because there's so many things in the body that disrupts the mental and emotional health. So, and we have seen that so many times in this, so it's cool that it can be so easy.
100%, 100%, 100%. That's what I mean. It might seem simple, but in your body, but there's a huge amount of stuff going on in your body. If you take care of that, take away the stress from your basic physical health, naturally your life starts getting better emotionally, mentally, how you apply yourself to life. So
Yeah.
we're going to start the health journey, I think, yeah, because we've got 15 minutes left, I think. Let's get through this, Sana. But yeah, I always say first of all, I always say to people, look, okay, if any of this what makes sense, what we said to you, which I'm hoping it makes sense. I'm not here to sell water to you. In a way, I'm just going, look, just bring it back. Just get rid of all your logic, get rid of it, go, okay, I've got my health. You're 70% water. Let's use that as a scientific foundation. If you get thirsty, you know you want water. You know water, all these facts we've said before, and go, well, water is very important. So I want guys out there, if you're going to watch this and go, well, what can I change today? And go, well, I always say water is the foundation before you start anything else, as you said a second ago. Correct that. And once you start doing the higher possibilities coming, as we said, and generally when you start fixing that, the 70% of you, a huge amount of mental, emotional, and physical problems disappear. They start, not massive ones. I'm not going to start saying this is a solution. It's not a cure, but you'll see little, small, niggly things that you might have had start disappearing. Oh, that doesn't annoy me anymore. Oh, that's gone from my wrist. That's really weird. Things start happening as you start cleaning your body out because you get more efficient like a machine. So, I always say, as you said, start the foundations. When you make a decision to go, a lot of people, when they do it, is going, well, what do I do? I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm going to start with the foundations. Correct the foundations. You're 70% water. Correct that first. If you do that, then deal with other things, as you said. Deal with the next bits. And I think once you understand it's an ongoing journey, it's never, I'll just fix the water and everything's over. It just go to embrace it as a journey. Embrace it when you go on holiday. You go, I'm going to go travel abroad. It's a journey. You go, oh, it's exciting to do that. And then more stuff happens, and you come back, and then you get your next holiday. The same thing with health. Embrace it as a journey. Go, okay, I'm going to do this change, and then see how I'm going to do another change, and keep upgrading, keep on upgrading. Because a lot of people go, I'll change that one thing, and everything's going to be perfect. It doesn't work like that. Just always remember, the journey is enjoyable. The journey is beautiful, because the more you do, the better you feel, and the better you feel, the more you can approach life in a really joyful, happy way, which is what everyone wants. Everyone wants to be happy. Who doesn't? Unless people want to be angry. I don't know if they do. But it's their choice anyway. It's nothing to do with me. But in reality, the more you do it, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more you approach life with a different set of eyes. So go back to the foundation. So water is 72% of your body approximately. So if you fix that, 72% of the work's done. That's the key thing to hold.
Yes. Great. Solutions.
Yeah, let's go into the solutions, because I want to give some people some things. I don't know, Sana, you probably have some tips as well, but generally I say, well, okay, it depends on where you're at. And once again, we're going to go into some simple solutions, so which people handle in the house every day and stuff. We've got other solutions, which is filtered and machinery, which you can do other things. But to start on the simple ones, normally I say, well, if you're drinking tap water or bottled water, okay, just the first thing is to put things into perspective. Don't forget, water is 70% of you, and then the 70% it creates life all around you. It's very important. So when you approach water, a lot of people say have gratitude for something, have gratitude. I'd say don't bother having that. I just go, just put it into perspective. Like, water is 70% of your body, is so important. It's more important than anything you can ever label, really. It's the biggest, most important thing in your life. So people go, well, my job's important. I appreciate your job's important, but if I take your job away, you're alive. If I take water away, you're dead. You can't live anymore. So that's 70% of you. Put that into perspective. This stuff is really important to keep you alive. So when you put it into perspective, naturally, when you treat it and touch it and use it, you're going to start looking at it with reverence and appreciation. This stuff keeps you alive. It's like a magical elixir. It might seem like a clear liquid, but it's a magical elixir. So put it into that perspective. Naturally, you'll be grateful for it. Just taste it. Just remember what it is. So that's the first thing I say. If you're using tap water, I'd normally say pour it into a glass. And leave it for 15 minutes, put it next to a plant, leave it for 15 minutes before you drink it, because in a way, once you leave glass settled like that, not in the pipes and all that stuff, if you leave it that, it starts restructuring itself in a very mild manner anyway. So you can leave it next to a plant or something, pour it, but don't drink it straight away when it's come out of the tap. When you drink it, like, you can see these pictures, like as I said in the picture in the slide there, some cup in hand, water in hand, with two hands. When you hold your glass, hold it with two hands and just look at it for like a minute before drinking it. Just sort of try and bring that logical awareness and that awareness going, this thing keeps me alive. Just remember, this stuff is going to cleanse my whole system out. Just look at it naturally. Why I'm saying that is your way you approach it, or how you treat it, or how you touch it is going to be improved. And remember, science can prove that how you are when you drink that water, it will remember. So if you're feeling negative, it will be negative water in a way, without going into hippie language and all that. Just science is proving this. So when you go and look at it and do it, if you just go, this keeps me alive, and thank you, before you drink it, just for a minute, just look at it, hold it to your hand in a glass and go, leave it for 50 minutes, look at it, go, thank you. Just whatever you're talking to, you might sound crazy, but really thank it, because in a way, it's keeping you alive. Just remember that. You don't have to thank it, but just internally just go, whoa, you keep me alive. It's really that simple. You're probably the most important thing ever in my life. Bigger than my family, bigger than my kids, bigger than my dog, bigger than my family. Bigger than my house, bigger than my car, bigger than my money, bigger than everything. This is 70% of your life. So when you put it in that perspective, naturally be thankful for it. And we always say this, like a couple other pointers there. Sana, you can take over in a minute. It's just saying when we're drinking it, a lot of people are getting used to taking your water bottle around, sipping. That's not a good, and that will affect different parts of your body. It's not as if you need to keep sipping it. Just quench your thirst. When you're thirsty, quench your thirst. Quench your thirst well. And then that's it, leave it, and then drink another. So I always say to people in the morning when you get up, I normally have half a pint of water in the morning. I have a pint of water with lemon juice. That's it. I don't drink water again. I don't think about it until I'm thirsty. I don't keep sipping it during the day, because that sort of messes up the chemistry of your body. So drink when you're thirsty. The temperature of it, try not to make it too cold. If you make it too cold, your body has to work to heat it up again, in a way causing stress in the body. I don't want to call it stress, but if you drink really cold water, your body has to heat it up to bring to body temperature. If you drink really hot water, it has to cool it down to body temperature. It's not saying you can't drink that, but generally every day, you can drink a cup of tea, you can drink an ice cold drink, fine. But generally every day, whenever you drink water, try and drink water which is approximately your body temperature, around room temperature at least, because at least you're not using all this energy to burn off, to heat it up or cool it down. So that should just make common sense to someone using sense. And as you drink the water, when you drink it, see what happens. Just go drink it, go stop and just go, I've just drunk it. This think what happens in your body when you drop the water, what's actually changing. Just try and be aware of things like that, because the more you put the awareness there, naturally all this comes into place and gratitude will come to what it actually is. I don't know if you've got anything to add to that, Sana.
Yeah, and I would like to also say that, cats and dogs and animals have a natural, we also do or did have that natural sense of what kind of water is good and what is not optimal for us. Because if you give different kinds of water to animals, they will choose the one that is the best most of the times. So, and we as humans have turned that function off. It's like sleeping, but you can turn it on if you get into this like water world and you drink different kinds of water and you're like, oh no, that was not good, that did not land good in my body. Let's say, because when I've been drinking this optimal water for a couple of years, let's say I go to a restaurant and we're going to eat out and I want to have water, but I don't have my own water with me. But I still want to have water. I drink tap water. It doesn't feel good, but I do anyway because I need water. And I drink it, and it's like I feel physically. It's not emotional. It's not like placebo. I feel that this water does not go into my body. It sort of stays stays outside of the cells, sort of. I can feel that, so it's very cool. And when I drink optimal water, I feel thirstier, because my body can signal to me that, wow, I want that stuff, I need more of that stuff. Because most of the times we feel in those situations that, I think I'm hungry, but actually many of the times when we feel hungry, we are actually thirsty, because what the body is asking for is actually energy. And the body creates energy from water, and not many people actually know about this, but the mitochondria that produces energy uses negatively charged water, or water as a semiconductor for energy. So if we would drink more water, we would have more energy and we would not eat too much. So yeah, that's very cool. Like when you start those functions in the body, you can start to actually feel your body much more, and you can feel like, oh wow, this water was actually good for me. And that's very cool.
100%. And when you get aware of it, that's what I mean, when the awareness of it, you start going, oh, and you start noticing these little small differences. I always say it's like when you're getting tall, little differences, you don't realize you're getting taller. You're a kid and you just go, and you can start marketing on, well, your mum or your dad, and you're going, well, I got a little bit taller today, mummy. But in generally, you don't notice it, it just happens. So in the same way, when you change your water and start doing these practices, what normally happens, it didn't feel like a big difference every day, but it's just those little small differences. And after a year or 2 or 3, you go, I feel damn good. You just like you've now embraced that journey, as I said before. And I think, okay, whether you've got tap water, there's some solutions there for you. If you've got bottled water, I always say to bottled water, try and get it in glass. If not, try and get a filter of some. There's different filters you can get. You can get cheaper ones, which are filters and do certain things. But generally, I wouldn't recommend them. But if that's where you're at, and you can take some of the pollutants out, or some of the heavy metals, or some of the chemicals that we've added to the water, you can remove them. You can do things. If you can get to a place, normally within a city or around the city, or not in a city, sorry, on the outskirts of the city, or when you go into a bit more countryside, there's fresh springs where you can collect your own water still. A lot of people are doing that nowadays, opting for that choice, because they don't want to drink the tap water because it's too chemicalized. They want to drink bottled water. It's full of microplastics. Even though it's still spring water, it's still full of microplastics in some form or something. So they go to the springs and get it fresh from the spring. A lot of people are doing that. That's another solution. And in general, I always say to people, just remember, like, you're showering with this water. You're when you eat food like fruit and veg, it's 70%, it's up to 90% water. You know, all this stuff where we're putting in water in the bodies, even when we have showers, so chemicals in the body. Once a month, just go have a river swim, jump into a lake once a month. It's great. Everyone loves going on holiday, going to the beach when they relax. But in the same way, just have a jump in the river. It's beautiful. It's nice and fresh. It's nature's own water. Well, obviously, watch where you drink, where you swim. You don't want to go to a place where it's next to a pollution pipe because that's what's happening when we contaminate more. But there's places where you can go where the water is really, really filtered, really good, and you can swim around it, and you're going to get really clean, healthy water on your skin as well. And these things are like always going to benefit sustainability, but first of all, I always say, whatever stage you're at, try a little item, try a little bit, and then try and get momentum. For example, if you're just starting, you've got tap water, and that's where you're at, just before you drink the water, just take your time, slow it down, put it in a glass, put it next to the plant. Try and do that for a week. Don't worry about anything else. Just one small step, start getting momentum. And as you start getting momentum into something, add another thing and keep going. Only do one small thing. You don't need to make it into a big, I'm going to have a big, huge water protocol for the rest of my life. So we can, if any of you want us to email these details and put it into a nice form for you, so it's easy to follow, we can do that after. Get in contact with me and Sana, or me or Sana. We can put into a simple document to give you a wee tick list to tick off. But get the momentum. Make your decision today. I want to change. If you're going to want to change and get a more healthy lifestyle, change, and water's the way. You agree with us? What we're saying? Water's the route we have to start in the small thing. If that's all you can be capable of, if you can scale up, even better. You can take away a lot of the groundwork and get to better, far better quality water quicker. But if that's where you're at, do these little tips, and you'll probably notice small, significant steps in your health, which will, in the long run, lead to big changes.
Yes, thank you. Should we talk about the machine then?
Yeah, and the last thing, 100%. I think the last thing is going. With Sana works and myself, we work where obviously just now, Sana will give you a bit more information about this, but obviously we've got science, which is fantastic. Now we've got science, and in a way, what we said initially in the conversation was there's parts of nature which have this fourth state of water, which is called structured water in science. That's what they're calling it. We're using science and machinery to produce a similar type of effect in a way from devices in the house. You've got different types of devices, but the one me and Sana would recommend, and obviously say if you're ready for big changes, if you go today, actually, I'm going to make a change today. I actually want to change this, and I understand 70% what is myself. I want to make a big change. What am I going to do about it? If you can't go into paid solutions, we've given some free stuff to go in, but this is a paid solution. We'll give you the prices after if you want more information, but there's these devices which some guys in Japan have created this ionization and alkalized water machine, which is, in a way, if you put it into simplicity, is using implosion. It might not be implosion in a way, but it's using explosion in a way to mimic water in nature. And what it does, it gives you this really, really structured water state, which is really high in antioxidants and stuff like that. Really I think it's microclusters of water, which is easily goes into your system, and it's really soft in your system. There's no toxins and stuff, and it gets into your body and hydrates your body really well. What I'd say is, if you're really serious about making a change, that's where to start, because if you can fix that 70%, your life starts changing dramatically over the next 1, 2, 3 years. And that's what we want to help people with, really. Obviously, if it's a paid solution, if you can't afford it, we want to help in every possible manner. But this is for people who are really going, actually, what I normally say is, most people, when they invest in something, they'll go invest in a TV, I'll invest in my mobile phone, I'll invest in a holiday, I'll invest in this. But they're investing in stuff which might make them happy. But I'm going, if you invest in the thing, a lot of people without judgment, they've not even realized that you can invest in yourself, invest in being better, investing in your health. So if I ask someone, I normally go, okay, I do a lot of meditations and yoga and stuff, and when people have come to me with a problem, I go, well, what do you want as a wish? And they'll go, I want to be healthy, I want a new boyfriend, I want to make lots of money, I want to be happy, I want to be peaceful, I want to be loving. Everyone's got the same wishes generally. But I'm going, well, okay, healthy, how are you going to be healthy? And I'm going, they go, well, I should eat more fruit and veg, I should drink more water. So they've already got the answers. It's just they don't apply them. They'll go, well, I'm going to invest in a holiday to get me relaxed because I'm so stressed. I'm going, well, no, invest in the water, which makes you fix you, which so you're not stressed. So it's always about a choice of an individual. I'm not taking anything away from anyone specifically, but I always say just always, if you want to take a big move, in a way, it's a very loving act to yourself. You feel good about it. We're going, I'm not actually going to invest in a destructive habit or something which isn't going to lead to a long-term gain for me. I'm going to invest in something which is going to be a long-term gain, my health, and I'm going to take action now. So this machine is great for that. And yeah, I think Sana, you can take over and tell them a bit more about it because you're better.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, it's the machine, it's ionized alkalized water, as Sanjay said, and it's when you it's like having a lightning strike on a lake, or being, being in the ocean with a lot of electrons in this water. So it's water that goes through plates, metal titanium plates, with an electrical current on the plates, and the water gets separated into two streams. So this is what happens in nature when nature sort of separates water or disassociates water. And this strong disassociation of water only happens in a few places on Earth. It happens everywhere with water, but in this potent form, it only happens in a few springs in the world. So it's very cool, like 4 springs or 5 springs or something like that. And people have been like making pilgrimage to these springs since beginning of time, and it's been called the miracle water for that exact reason, because people who have been sick have been walking to these places, drinking the water, and like magically have been healing. And people who live in these places also become very old. So that is what you can see. So it's like having one of those springs in your kitchen, and you can choose different pH levels. So higher pH is stronger, and lower pH is not as strong. So you have 2.5, which is disinfectant. You have 6.0 for the skin, because the skin is 6.0. And then you have 7.0, which is neutral, and then 8.5, 9.5, and 11.5. And 11.5 is like, what's it called? Emulsifying. So it takes away fats and things like that, for like taking away pesticides from vegetables and such like that. And like when you start to drink the water, you can expect some detox symptoms, because when you finally get the water into your cells, the body can actually start to detox the things that has been building up in the system, because our bodies cleans with water, and if it cannot clean, it will build up. So when you start to drink this, you can feel like symptoms. You're like, I thought I was gonna feel better with this water, but I feel worse. But it's not every person who experience that, but a lot of people experience some detox symptoms. But so you start like 8.5 and work your way up to 9.5, and it's super easy. Like I have friends who travel with the machine to different places, so it's easy to install. Everyone can do it, and it lasts a lifetime. It's really this is really high quality. There are machines like this who does not have good quality, and that can actually be you can get the opposite effect. So it's very important to choose high quality, and the company that me and Sanjay work with is they have all the certifications. They have also the life experience. They are 49 years old this year, the company, so they have the life experience to actually show the quality of this machine. Yeah.
So yeah. So in summary, that's, I think what we're saying is, guys, if you're choosing this health journey to make a change, what we really want to do is go, well, where you're at currently, where you're at, do your best where you're at. So there's whatever stage you're at. if you're at a certain stage, we'll give you tips. We can help you. Just introduce some little small protocols in your life and business to make move forward. Or you can go into bigger solutions. I'll go into bigger solutions. We handle machines. This machine itself is really about getting really good quality water, mimicking nature. I think if we want to go in a bit more description about that itself, it's better for people to come back to us, and we can go into all the features and all that stuff and how you can choose. Because we're running out of time, and we don't overload everyone with too much knowledge, and we don't want you bored of me. Everyone's like, that guy's boring. Sorry, I found that really funny. But yeah, once again, prioritize your choices. So we can do another podcast soon with a bit more information about the machine, or you can come directly to me and Sana. But really what I want to say is, today we want you to make a choice for your health and go, whatever your wish, you wish every human being wants to be healthy. So we're here to help and get you there. Start with the foundations, start with water. It's the thing that keeps you alive. It's the biggest thing on the planet. It's the biggest phenomena we've still not even fully understood. And we can help you with ways to start seeing that and getting yourself to higher levels of health, if that's your choice. I think Sana's just put up a slide here with our details.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just our email if you want more information sent to you, or it's our phone numbers. You can add us on WhatsApp or just call or text or whatever you'd like. And we can help you with more information and how you can know if this is a good match for you.
Yeah, 100%. We can help you with all sides of this. Anything. If you want a bit more information, if you want a summary of what we talked about, if you want some tips on your water, help out. If you want anything, we're here to help. And yeah, use us to upgrade your health. We're upgraders. We help.
Yes, yes. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching, and thank you so much, Sanjay, for being in this live with me today.
Yeah, no problem at all. And I'll speak to you soon, Sana. Thank you again for your time too.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Bye. Have fun.